What up, though, guys? It's your boy Boogz, and now that we have focused on passing 101 and we have mastered protection, and we've really done a deep dive on how to protect our quarterback and protect our most valuable asset, and now it's time to focus on what do we put out there? Like, how do we put out route combinations? Well, not route combinations. That's further down the line. But what offense do we run? How do we pick our offense? How do we create an offense? All those little tidbits right there. So let's focus on that. I'm just picking a random formation. So I'm going to go ahead and pick, look like my controller died. I'm going to go ahead and pick this wing trips here. But what we're going to do is we're going to focus on how do we create or build or find an offense. First things first, you want to look for routes or plays that already has a route that you cannot create yourself, that doesn't have a hot route. So we're not looking for a play that has crossing routes, because we can put crossing routes on anybody in our hot routes on College Football 25. We're not looking for plays that we can put those post routes, the hot routed post routes. Now, if we can find a post route that has the short post route, those short stem post routes that we cannot create ourselves. So that's really what we're looking for. We're looking to create or build around routes that we do not have in our hot route tree. If we don't have it in our hot route tree, that's what we're looking around. We're looking, one, does it have a route that we cannot hot route? Two, can it protect us? Ideally, we want to run an offense that has a running back and a tight end on the opposite side, but that's not mandatory. I do like to, at the very least, have something that I can max protect, so I can at least block a tight end and a running back. And if you guys watched that passing 101 video and how to protect your quarterback, if you have not, go check that video out. The link will be in the description and in the breakdown. So if you watch that video, you understood how to protect our quarterback. So let's take, for example, play action plays. Play action plays with the T's pointing down. That lets us know that we can now slide protect out of that play action play. These are going to be the best pass protection plays that you can find. All right, so we're going to, right here, the PA cross. We can't create that short crossing route that I see on the screen, and we can't recreate, or hot route that speed dig or that dig route on the slot receiver. So it looks like a potential play that we can utilize. So we'll then pick the play. We'll go in practice mode and actually look at it, because play art can be deceiving sometimes. You want to actually go into practice mode and actually look at the routes and see what they're actually looking like. So here we have a shorter cross route. It's like a shallow cross, but a little bit deeper. And so we can, I told you guys, we like to block our running back. It is a slide protectable formation. This play action play can be slid protect on. So you see a route, that two routes in this play, two routes in one. If you can find two routes, that makes it even better. So we've already found two routes in one play that we can build upon. That's one. So you want to be able to find routes that you can't hot route. Then two, you want to be able to find routes that attack different areas of the field. So now this right here attacks the middle of the field. So you want to be able to attack the middle of the field. You want to be able to attack the right sideline and the left sideline, ideally while giving the same look continuously. So we found something that attacks the middle of the field. Let's continue to look through this formation and see if we can find other routes that we cannot recreate. All right. So here we have PA Reed has a corner route. We have those fades, those all goes fades. Those are really, really good fades, especially if you're utilizing those takeoff receivers. And it's going to be very good against cover two. Your opponent won't be able to run cover two on you. But here, this play here, PA Flood it looks like a short corner route. You got to pay attention to the play art too. There's a big difference between that corner route and this corner route in PA Reed. Those corner routes are different. And so you want to really be able to identify play art and how they look, how routes look on play art, because then you'll be able to translate it to other formations. You'll be able to see, oh, if I see this particular type of stem and cut on this corner route, that means that's probably a corner route, the same corner route I saw in X formation. All right, and then that then helps you to build in other formations. If you say, all right, I really like this corner route, but I don't like the formation. Let me try to find this corner route in other formations. So those are things you want to look at. So we're gonna pick the play here and look at it. So that is one of those short stem corner routes that are going to be very good against man coverage, zone. It's one of those corner routes that doesn't need a pull route. So you can throw that corner route without having a streak to push back the deep zones. You can throw it, it's a shorter one, but it's not going to be deep to where it's going to get over the top of flats. But we found a play right there that attacks the right side of the field. So now we have a corner route, we have a post route. Then you want to see if you can find something else that may attack the left side of the field. We found something that attacks, and you don't have to have all three, but if you have all three, it's going to make your offense unstoppable. And so I know you're probably looking at return PA fake screen and thinking, oh, well, that attacks the left side. Well, that C route is going to be limited because you're going to need a pull route against a lot of coverages. So you want routes that are not going to demand too much assistance against too many different coverages. So that route right there, it needs a lot of help, so we can't really build off that. So let's just say we really like this formation. We can attack the middle of the field. We can also potentially utilize motion on our offense every time, and then just motion over to then assist that C route. So now we got something on the left and the right side. And it looks like our RB guy, our slot guy, is the most dynamic guy on the field with the most unique routes. Another thing you want to really consider is having routes on multiple icons. That way, your opponent can't just key in and say, all right, well, I'm just going to man up his slot and bracket coverage that side of his field, that side of the field, and take away that particular receiver. So you want to have dynamic routes on more than just one icon, or you may want to have a formation that you can then audible to. There's a lot of levels to this. All right, so you have so many different levels to this. I'm a big proponent of staying in one formation and building one complete offense out of one formation, and really just attacking every area of the field and keeping everything looking the same out of one formation. But if you can't do that, then the next best thing would be to then find a formation that you can audible to that is going to be a fast audible, something that you can audible to that's just like whether it's compressed on the right side of the field and then expands out and spreads out on the right side of the field. So I'll give you an example of what I mean. Let's say it's like a gun bunch or a cluster, for example. A cluster will audible fast between this formation. Cluster will audible fast between that and this wing trio or this wing trips. So the wing trips or you got the wing trips weak. Does it have anything over there on the left side? Maybe it's a post route or a short post route on a play that you don't have that attacks or comes from that side of the field. Or you go to this Y off trips, which is pretty much the same. It has like a cross or a mountain route. Or you can say, you know what? Or like this one has post route on two different routes. So now you can't just key in on one. So actually, we're going to pull up this play. This is an example of the post that I mean. Get set. You can't recreate either one of those posts, the one on B or RB. The post that you get is this post here. I just high routed the post on RB. You see the difference between these routes? So the stems and how they break and how they cut is very important when you're developing an offense. So it's so many little details, and I don't want to information overload the people. But for the most part, now that we've really kind of broke down a few things, I don't want to give you guys information overload, so let me make it simple for you guys. Let's look at how we're going to attack this. One, you want an offense that you can protect your quarterback out of, something with a good play action play that has routes that you can develop or build upon that you cannot hot route with. Two, you want a slide protectable play action route or play action play. You want a formation where you can now find or attack all three areas of the field. If you can't attack three, you at the very minimum you have to be able to attack two areas of the field. All right, so you either have to be able to attack the strong side or the weak side. You need to be able to attack at least two out of the three areas of the field while giving the same look, continuously giving people the same look to keep your opponent off balance. That way they can't key in on exactly what you're doing every time. You want as very little tails as possible. That's another thing. Let me go ahead and dive into that. Sometimes you may have an offense that has a tail. I'm trying to think. Let's see. I'm pretty sure this will probably have a tail. So I want to show you guys. You want to make sure you don't have tails in what you're doing. And what do I mean by that? You want to be able to make sure that your formation doesn't have a specific tail where it is giving away what you are calling. So you might have a play in your offense. You want to limit as many tails as possible. I'm trying to find something that might have it. There's a lot of times like the sneaky plays. Okay, so for example, you see how this play here, how your receivers are aligned in tighter. So now your opponent is going to be able to tell after you run it on them a couple times. They're going to now know if they're a smart player. Oh, he's running that play because it's different than all the other plays because the base alignment for it is like this. They're more spread out. The X receiver is more in tight. And that also depends on whether or not your offense, this is a last key critical component of this, is you want to know whether or not your offense is best on the wide side of the field with the strong side on the wide side or the short side. So what do I mean by that? What I mean by that is, for example, right now, we have the strong side on the wide side of the field. So what I mean by that is the solo side receiver, X is on the left side. He is one receiver by himself. Then we're stacked on the right with 4 receivers, running back, tight end, and then 2 receivers, slot receiver and the outside receiver. So you really have to determine, maybe my corner route is best when it is on the short side of the field and it has less field. So maybe it's best when I have the trips on the short side like this, and then you run your offense like this. So then what do you do when you're on the left hash? That means if you're on the left hash, you then have to have your play flipped, and so that it's always on the short side, and then vice versa. So maybe your offense is best when it's on wide. I would assume that a formation like this is going to be better or on the wide side of the field. More times than not, in Maddens and college footballs, the wide side of the field and giving your players more room to really cook and create and space out the defense, more times than not, it's going to be wide side of the field. But you do have random years where the short side is easier to attack, and normally those years are the years that are more defensive. So that's really kind of what it takes to really develop an offense. That is passing 102. I know it was a lot of information. You're going to have to digest, write down, pause the video, do whatever you got to do. But all in all, hopefully you guys are taking your game to the next level. Hopefully this has been valuable information for you. And then also, if you like this information and you want to see more free tips or premium tips, go check out the website twim.tips. That's where I'm putting out all my ebooks, my guides, and I'm also dropping free information as well, free tips on that website as well. You can check all that out there. Or if you want to book some one-on-one coaching sessions and take your game to the next level, for real, with one of the greatest to ever do it, and a high-level Madden coach and somebody that's helped take other players to the next level, go ahead and go to the website twim.tips. I appreciate y'all.